The Swan Princess, remember this one? A story about a princess where some magic dude wants to take over the throne in her kingdom, so he curses said princess to turn into a swan at night? Don't remember that? Well, neither did I for a while. Growing up, I remember this being something that nobody really talked about during the 90s, yet somehow 2 sequels were made in the same decade, and now apparently it got a CGI reboot 10 years ago and has, let me check my notes here, 9 more movies? These things are breeding like swans! That's a term, right? I mostly knew the first 3. This was prime here. The first one released in theaters in 1994, which was considered the ultimate, the grandest. It was a box office flop. Yeah, didn't hit well at theaters, but got new life and popularity in videotape sales. So much so, it did get 2 direct-to-video sequels where the quality of everything was a little more...
We're awful lucky to have a princess like you, madam.
Not great, Bob!
But today, I want to talk about the one that started it all, and how this fairy tale turned into a... phenomenon's the wrong word. How about... life's work for a guy with the same name twice. Go ahead, try to tell them apart. Resemblance is uncanny. So, The Swan Princess is what I like to call a non-Disney Disney movie. I discussed this in my Don Bluth review series and how many of these films were released by other companies like Universal or Warner Brothers, but because they were fairy tales with songs, bright colors, they were incorrectly attributed to Disney. Usually due to the fact that both Don Bluth and Richard Rich are former Disney animators. With this one, I can definitely see why with how the stories played out. Renaissance kingdoms, a beautiful princess, dashing prince, catchy songs, animal sidekicks, you know, the gold standard. Plus, I mean, look at this. This is just taken straight out of Sleeping Beauty. To me, though, the whole movie does feel like Warner Brothers, and that's not a bad thing. They made fantastic animated films in the 90s with some of the best stories, so I think I can give this a chance. Let's get into the story here. King William of one kingdom and Queen Uberta of another kingdom make an arrangement to have their children, William's daughter Odette and Uberta's son Derek, to be wed to unite their kingdoms. A sorcerer named Rothbart wants to take over William's kingdom but is banished from messing with the forbidden arts. Damn Voldemort. And Rothbart swears his revenge. Odette and Derek don't care for the arrangement while growing up but fall in love at first sight once they are adults. Derek believes he loves Odette due to her beauty, but when he can't think of anything else he loves about her, she calls off the arrangement. Rothbart returns for his revenge, killing William and taking Odette, who now turns into a swan by day and only turns human by the moonlight touching the lake, and her spell can only be broken by a vow of everlasting love. So yes, the story is based on the famous ballet Swan Lake. Lots of the names are similar, but the story takes plenty of liberties, like, you know, a talking frog voiced by John Cleese. I don't know much about the ballet Swan Lake, and I learned nothing from the Natalie Portman movie besides Padme and Meg Griffin doing it feels weird. PG-13. Keep it PG-13. I do find the story has some interesting ideas, even if some of the terms and rules are a little half-baked. Like with how, spoilers here, Derek gives his vow of love to a woman dressed up as Odette, but he still makes it to Odette, so why does the real Swan Odette die? This makes sense with the Little Mermaid because a kiss to said person breaks the spell, but a vow to who he wants when he believes it to be the real Odette, I don't know, I guess I'm just being a little nitpicky here. I do find it funny though that not a lot actually happens in the middle of the film. After Odette is taken, it's Derek practicing to fight the great animal and Odette just hanging out with her animal friends. Yet somehow all these things kept my interest. It didn't bore me. Do I like this movie? Odette is your standard princess character, nothing too out of the ordinary. Same with Derek being the dashing prince that wants to save her. And what I thought was a negative at the beginning of the film actually worked to its advantage. I initially felt that the love at first sight was a cop-out. How these 2 kids hated each other in youth and they both became nice looking, they instantly kiss and are in love. Nobody does that.
Maybe except for you.
Mwah. But it's actually the point of the plot for loving someone for more than just looks. Derek was ready to profess his love for Odette when he knew she was safe, which again, you're like, this is stupid. But in the end, when he says how she is kind and brave, and that's him loving her more than her beauty. Granted, Derek has only seen her twice since turning into a swan, but hey, this still works. Yes, it's a simple, what's on the inside counts message. Are there other stories that do it better? Yeah, but I liked how this one was done. You can't have a princess movie without some animal friends, of course. We got Jean Bob, the frog, played by John Cleese, believes himself to be a prince and wants a kiss from Odette. We can have a new log flume, Odette's Swan Lake adventure at a Six Flags park. I'll take my check in the mail, Warner Brothers. We also have Speed the Turtle, played by Steven Wright, always known for his monotone delivery, and I can't think of a more perfect casting. RDJ's Iron Man? Pfft, this is cinema. And we have Puffin, played by Steve Vinovich. I tell you what you know him from, but it's this apparently. The overconfident Puffin that is saved by Odette and vows to help her. Gotta love former Disney animators and their overjoyous bird characters. And ones that keep on getting hurt in their wing. We have Derek's cowardly friend Bromley, Rogers, who is an advisor to Derek and gives the best line in this entire series.
You should write a book. How to offend women in 5 syllables or less.
Uberta acts like that crazy aunt we all have. You know the one. Go ahead. We all got one. Go ahead and comment a fact about her down below. And then our villain, Rothbart, who talks like a mix of Christopher Lloyd's Rasputin from Anastasia was doing a William Shatner impression.
Don't give me that look, Missy.
Fine with me. Just fine with me.
They're beeping. I can't stand it anymore. The blinking and beeping is flashing.
So we have ourselves a pretty good story, and the characters have a certain charm to them. Now to discuss one of my favorite things. Maestro? Songs. Yes, indeed. We got songs here, and I'm gonna have to be honest with you. They were kinda catchy. This is my idea as a fun opening number that establishes the passage of time well. Sure, it's not Do You Want to Build a Snowman, but I still had this stuck in my head for a while. Practice, Practice, Practice was kind of unnecessary as a song, but it wasn't bad by any means. No Fear has a bit of a direct-to-video movie feel to it, plus Jean Bob's singing voice sounding nothing like John Cleese is a little distracting. At least we've had Liz Calloway, who also did Anastasia's singing voice as Odette. No More Mr. Nice Guy, no, not the Alice Cooper song, is a fun villain song with quite the big band bounce to it. I'll take it over Don't Make Me Laugh any day. Then Princesses on Parade. It's the weakest of the group, I feel. A show tune having Chamberlain singing in this deep baritone voice. It weirdly reminded me of Springtime for Hitler from the producers for some reason. Except, you know... Then we have Far Longer Than Forever, which is the signature love song of the film. It's a lovely song, but you can't tell me that you don't mix it up with Disney's Beauty and the Beast at first.
Far longer than forever.
This is why you didn't win the Oscar. Sure, they aren't going to be the most remembered songs of the 90s. That honor belongs to 5 Goes West. Girl You Left Behind reigns supreme. But none of them are entirely skippable or loathsome. The score is also top-notch. A breathtaking orchestra fills every scene from magical to perilous. I probably applauded it more than the songs themselves. There's almost never a scene without a nice score. The animation is well done too. Backgrounds are beautiful, character designs are good, the tone of each scene is great, from the peaceful nature of Night on the Lake to the tense hunt with Derek thinking Odette was the great animal. So much for all that practice, practice, practice. Couldn't even kill a swan! And not even a real one! I can't believe I'm actually asking this, but is this a hidden gem from the 90s? The simple answer is no. Not so much a gem or a diamond, but maybe a shiny rock. Is it worth anything on the actual market? No, but it sure does look pretty on the mantle. It's a synthetic leather brand of a film as opposed to genuine leather creation. You know what? Some people prefer that. It's also less cruel. Animators' rights, anyone? Does it hold up to the greats of the 90s Disney had at this time period? No, but it's enjoyable in its own right. When not comparing to the other films being released at the time, I think this would have flourished during the 80s when we needed a major fairy tale. It has all the ingredients with solid animation, interesting characters, slightly catchy songs, and not too much downtime. This is a solid piece in the work of animator Richard Rich. I cannot get over that name. An enjoyable fairy tale film. Maybe not a swan, but sure isn't an ugly duckling. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tell me, have you seen The Swan Princess? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, or enemies, I guess. And subscribe to my channel for more animation reviews, nostalgia lookbacks, and anything else I can come up with. Now, it makes me wonder why he waited almost 15 years to reboot the franchise.
Of two hearts full of they're sharing a memory of caring and time.
What the